says 1910 right there. It's pretty cool. I like that mirrored effect, especially when you get all the moss on the rocks and everything. Good morning, everybody. Chris in the morning here, coming at you from White Clay Creek Preserve, southern Pennsylvania, kind of right on the border of Pennsylvania and Delaware. It's a beautiful spring day. It's a balmy 45 degrees. Might get up to 55 with a chance of rain throughout the day. What more could you ask for? All right, I think I got everything. All right, here's the map. We are up here at parking lot number 1, right off of London Track Road. There's 2 trails that I could take. The PennDel Trail, which runs on the west side of the creek, and then there's the Charles Branch, or the Charles Bailey Trail, which runs on the east side of the creek. I'm not sure which one I'm going to take. I'm just going to wing it. You get down to a certain point and you have to make a decision as to which one you want to take. So I will make that decision when I get there. So let's get started. Alrighty, good morning again. Like I said earlier, I am at the White Clay Creek Nature Preserve. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Pennsylvania side is called a preserve. The Delaware side is called a state park. It's all one giant area. The trail that I'm on now will actually take us down into Delaware, or the Delaware side. There's just a whole bunch of trails on both the Pennsylvania and the Delaware side. Today I'm doing the Pennsylvania side, and not sure which side of the creek I want to follow, to be determined. There's a possibility that there's a lot of people here fishing. It's April, it's that time of the year when fishing season starts, and a lot of the creeks fill up. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to see the parking lot full this morning. So we'll see what happens. Alrighty, so right here we actually have some May apples that are starting to bloom over here. Well, they're starting to grow. First ones I've seen this year. Pretty soon it'll be covered with them. Actually, I can see them growing all around. Yeah, they're all starting to sprout all along this trail. Pretty cool. Look forward to seeing them later on, a couple weeks. Awesome. As we enter this tunnel of Looks like honeysuckle starting to bloom. Birds are once again very active. There's some red-winged blackbirds out there. Nice view. A couple turkey vultures circling around up in the sky. Some little birds in the meadow area. Take a little side trail down to White Clay Creek. And let's see what's out here. Nice little view up the creek. Nice little view down the creek. All the greens along the bank. Very nice. I'd say the creek has a nice little gentle flow to it. The tree right across from the creek has like a half dozen holes in it, and there's 3 that are like right next to each other that are looking pretty fresh. You know it's springtime when the beech tree leaves start turning white. I don't know if it's coming up on the screen, but the whole bank on the other side there, all the green, that's all lesser celandines all mixed in with that in there. Blech. All the green over there, you have this twinkling of the yellow from the lesser celandine. You know, it's just covering that whole bank over there. Okay, we are back on the trail. Got a little tributary to the right, White Clay Creek to the left, and moving right along. Let's go check out and see what's down here on the left. So we got another wildflower starting to sprout over here. I see it a little bit here and there. Yeah, I'm not sure what they are, but toothwort maybe, some sort of toothwort. So this is where that little tributary comes and meets up with the White Clay Creek over this little culvert that has a stamping of 1917 on it. Pretty cool. Just noticed on the other side of the creek there's some daffodils growing over on the other side there. And right back there. Let's get a close-up of those. Nice to see some daffodils. It's interesting, as I'm walking down the trail, on the left-hand side, the other side of the creek, there are quite a few of the daffodils growing over there. Not typically a native flower, typically it's planted, so it's interesting to see so many back here. Over here we have some yellow trout lilies that are starting to bloom. That's pretty cool. Some lesser celandine mixed in. Okay, so these purple flowers that are absolutely beautiful. These are grape hyacinths. And you can see, there's a whole bed of these grape hyacinths. They're just everywhere. Got some nice lush greens along this section of the trail. That was a female cardinal that just went by. I think it was a chick, little one. Wow, they really carved out this tree. It's all hollow inside. Nice view of the ridge across the creek. A couple larger down trees. Here's a whole field of those cool purple plants. I see some mayflowers starting to grow in there with the lesser yellow celandine in there as well. The purples, man, they're really popping. And the yellow. Yeah, you got a little bit of everything back here. And on the opposite side, you got the burst of yellow amongst all the greens. Pretty cool. Take a little side trail down to the creek. Might take a break here on this log. Interesting, you see the rock formations along that bank. Pretty cool. So one of the things that's pretty cool is when you get the bank and still water and you get the light hitting it just right, you end up getting some nice mirror reflections. They can be kind of trippy sometimes when the water's moving. Now I'm going to see if I can, there's a couple spots that look pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can get some photos of them. Pretty cool. I like that mirrored effect, especially when you get all the moss on the rocks and everything, and it really pops. Alrighty, time to move on. Head back down the trail. Should be a bridge up here somewhere. Alrighty, we're back on the trail. Like I said, we're gonna make our way over to the bridge. This is quite the mound of rocks over here. feel like I could spend hours just looking at all these rocks and going through them. So many cool rocks. Not only do we have cool rocks, but got a lot of shells down here too. Tiny little clams. I don't know if that's focusing. Pretty cool. They're all over down here. There's some more. Do a little creek walk. More rocks. And what sounds like a chainsaw. Alright, this looks like the end of the line. End of the line. There's a couple squirrels down there. Nice section of the trail. More wildflowers on both sides. A very large great blue heron just flew along the creek, and I was not in the right spot at the right time. That would have been a nice shot. Squirrels to the right. Lots of them. They've been pretty active today. So we caught back up to that great blue heron that flew down the creek. He was standing on one of the rocks in the middle of the creek down here on the other side of the bridge. I think I was able to get a couple shots of him. I tried to shoot video, but as soon as I switched over to video, he took off. May have caught a little bit of him, we'll see. So anyway, I decided to stay on the PennDel, or the PennDel side of the creek. They were working on the bridge, so staying on the west side of White Clay Creek. Alright, so over here on the left we have some old stonework. It actually looks like this could be a foundation. So you have stonework kind of running along here, and then it runs all along the back over here, and then runs all the way out there. I'm wondering if there was a house here or something at one point overlooking the creek. But yeah, man, some old stonework, and it goes all the way around, right off of the trail. Interesting. Pretty cool. Would have been a nice view, a really nice view. Here's a little side trail. I do like the little side trails. It's taking us over to the creek. Oh, we have more stonework over here. Interesting. All right, so this is kind of cool. Oh, there goes the blue heron. Poor guy. I feel like I'm aggravating him. I keep stumbling upon him and scaring him. All right. So, oh, this is interesting. So you have more stonework over here. And I don't know if you can read that. It says 1910 right there. See, that's more cement than it is stonework. But then you have some more right here and some more of it here. That's cement, and then out here, that's stonework right along the creek. I wonder if there was like a sawmill. Oh wait, never mind. This was a bridge. You can, on the other side, there's more stonework right there on the other side. So this was probably a bridge that went across here. Yeah, you can see like the little studs coming out of the cement. So this bridge was, I guess, erected in 1910. Alrighty, kind of heading away from the creek area out into more of a meadow. Some swampy areas along the trail. Almost gives you a bayou type vibe. The reflections look kind of cool. Some more ruins here on the left from another old bridge. Kind of wonder if there were railroad tracks back here and they were for a railroad at one point. So you can see across, you know, the stone structures, and then obviously the one that's half fallen into the creek over here for what used to be some sort of a bridge. And then here you can see the stonework for this one here is kind of collapsing in as well. Let's see if we can get over this tree trunk. I don't see any dates on this one, but I would assume it's about the same era, early 1900s. It's interesting that, you know, some of the stonework is cement, whereas the stuff along the creek, closer to the creek, is more typical stonework. I wonder if it's different eras. But there you can see one of the old bolts. Here's a front side view. It's pretty cool. Old history. Yeah, I can see, I don't think it's going to show up on here, but the cement work goes back really deep into the woods back there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Look at all the debris from all the storms recently. A lot of sycamores along here. Alrighty, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for joining me here at White Clay Creek Nature Preserve. It's been a fun day. It's nice to see more signs of spring, some newer wildflowers that I hadn't seen before. I mean, this year at least. So that's good. It really is beautiful back here. The sounds, you know, the creek and birds and everything, and then seeing all the greens. It's absolutely fantastic. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll catch everybody at the next video. Peace.